Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Tonight I'm going to show you how to fit this in place. Scribe it here, cut it out, and weld it here. And tack weld it without warping the panel. This here you want about 1/8 of an inch to weld to. It's a little tricky to get this in place to fit right. You got to take it off, take on and off a couple times to trim it. Cut it, trim it. But last night I showed you how to do the inner wheelhouse. Tonight I'm going to show you how to do this. I finally got my tripod. So I'm going to start. This you have to clean all the edges here down to bare metal. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to scribe it here. Get the basic where I got to cut it. And then I won't cut it exact. I'll trim it first around here and make sure, because you don't want to cut it too much and then you put the panel on and then it'll be too much cut here. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Before I put the camera on, I kind of set it in place for now, but I still got to move it around a little bit, and that's what I'm going to do now, so I can make my mark here. Just with a screwdriver, I'll just make a mark all around here to get it in there. Yeah, you got to fight with it a little bit. It doesn't go perfect. These are aftermarket patch panels, really. The right way to do it is to put the whole quarter on, which is easier. But this is what I'm working with. So all I'm doing is pushing in. I'm putting some vice grips to hold it in place so I can make my marks here. Alright, I'm going to make my mark now here. Go flat a little bit more. I just picked this up today from Harbor Freight. What is it? A Baxter belt sander. I usually buy the good ones from Snap-on, which are like 300 bucks. This one was only 80 bucks. So I'm going to try it out. I used it today at work. It actually feels a little heavy, which usually the Harbor Freight ones, if you guys have any used them, they crap out. Sometimes they have good tools, but we'll try this one and see how it works. Just gonna do a rough cut right now. Nothing crazy. Like I said, you gotta. You're not gonna do that. see, and what I'll do is I'm gonna go right inside here. Not all the way up to the line right now. Because like I said, I don't want to cut it all the way to the line right now, because sometimes if you go put the panel back on, you want to cut it a little bit short at first. I got my cutoff wheel. I've had this for a long time. This Matco. It's a really good cutoff wheel. Matco tools. They actually have these at Harbor Freight too, which I saw today when I was there. Tonight I'm probably just going to get a couple of tacks on there to get it in place, but I have to get more wire for my welder tomorrow. I forgot to get some today. That's one thing I got to remember. Everybody likes my safety goggles. People make fun of me at work about my sunglasses. Get it really set in place where we really want it, all clamped here and nicely fitted, then I can make my final cut. An old guy taught me years ago. He really didn't teach me, but back when I started, nobody wanted to teach me. I had to learn it on my own and make mistake after mistake. And my old boss if you watch this video, you'll know what I'm talking about. He was coaching me. That I would have, if it wasn't right, I'd have to redo it, and redo it. And I thought he was picking on me at the time, but he really wasn't. I thank him now for it, but I wanted to kill him when I was young. Ways you can do this, which I don't do it that way. If I do a quarter panel on a car, I usually do it, but you can put a sleeve in here, like a piece of metal. You can put this underneath here so you get a good backing, so when you weld it doesn't warp the panel, but I don't do that on this. I'll butt it up, right up to it, and then I'll weld, which I'll show you when it comes to that point, where you can't weld straight like that all the way through, or it'll warp the hell out of this panel. You have to tack. What I do first is I'll tack all four corners. 1, 2, 3, 4 corners, and then I move around. Tack. Move around. Because if you stay in one spot, the heat will warp the hell out of the panel. That's what you don't want to do. That's the piece I put in last night, if you guys watched the video last night. Now what I'm going to do is take this little grinder and I'm going to clean up all this down to bare metal. And this piece. All the edges down to bare metal. It's just like your prep work has to be, it's just like prepping a car for paint, which I'll show you eventually too. The better prep you do, the better weld you get. It's a weld to MIG weld. So it's really not that difficult. It's just the prep work has to be really, the metal has to be really clean for you to get a good weld. Clean up all this metal, and then I'll come back to you and I'll make the next video I'll make with me having the panel fit up, and everything will be clean and I'll be ready to weld, and I'm going to show you that, and I'll come back in another 10 minutes.